Hello, and welcome to Movie Supreme Court, the show that judges and renders verdict on everything movies. I am Noah, your Chief Justice, and with us today we have Judge Sylvia and Judge MarKeith. This bench trial court is now in session. Today, on trial, we have Star Trek Beyond. Now, none of us have seen the movie because it hasn't come out yet. But we have seen the trailers, we've seen some clips. Argument number one. Are you okay with a Fast and Furious version of Star Trek?
I think yes. It's 2016, absolutely. If you go back and look at, well, I should preface this with that I'm not a Trekkie or I'm not a huge fan of the series, but I am entertained when I watch the ones I do watch, and I do think that for 2016, yes, it does need to be a faster pace to appeal to the audience. I was entertained.
I have to agree. I'm interested to see what will happen. I am a fan of the originals. I am not a fan of the newer Star Trek films. So with the Fast and Furious, I'm interested to see what new elements they'll bring to the movie via special effects and graphics, the action, the storyline with these aliens coming into their ship, and they really have nowhere to go unless they beam somewhere else. So
now, I'm a fan of Fast and Furious, and this director is not J.J. Abrams. So this is not a J.J. Abrams film. Even though he is a producer on this movie, he's not the director. Mm-hmm. The director for this movie is the same one that did Fast and Furious 5, 6, some of the best movies that franchise has to offer. He is on this movie. I think this is probably the best thing the Star Trek franchise has ever had. I mean, this director will blow J.J. Abrams out of the waters with whatever he's going to do. I truly believe this director, I believe his name is Justin Lin.
I'm not sure the director's name.
Well, this director, he is going to take Star Trek into the stratosphere. You're now going to see probably the first Star Trek billion-dollar film. That's what I believe is going to happen. Wow. This movie will hit $1 billion. Do I have somebody that's disagreeing with me?
Well, I'm not going to disagree, but what I will say is I think it's time and I think it's needed if the Star Trek series is going to last and continue, which I feel that they're going to try to do. They've had TV shows, they've had tons of things throughout the years for the fans. It's a bit of hit or miss with whether the public likes it or not. But I feel that it's needed to bring back that original vision of Star Trek.
Now I know that some people had an issue with there being motorcycle parts in the movie and just probably maybe too much action and not enough. I think what are those fanatics? They say Star Trek is supposed to be searching and exploring, right, and being those ambassadors. But it seems like this is more of an action film versus an exploration film, which I think Star Trek is based on. I mean, are you okay with them moving a little bit further than just observing and being a exploratory versus action-packed blockbuster type movie?
To me, I'm okay with that because, again, it keeps the brand up. It can bring a new audience for people that have maybe not seen Star Trek, wherever you are. But there are people that don't like the Star Trek brand. So it will bring in a new audience that likes a certain genre of movies to see this one.
I agree. I think it's a perfect summer movie. It has all the elements of a blockbuster. There's action, and I'm strictly thinking of what Noah's discussing with the newer audience. I don't have any allegiance or closeness to the older series or the format that you were mentioning before. I just know I enjoyed the trailer, and because I saw the trailer, I know my children would want to see it. It has all the elements to keep you engaged. I like that it's not it's multifaceted to me. So it's not just humor. It's not just action. There's some drama. A love story is involved. I think it's an overall great summer fun movie.
Now I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not going to do no cut cards here. Okay. I am prepared to tell you all this. Thank you, J.J. Abrams, for stepping down from Star Trek. Thank you, because the last movie you did with Star Trek.
I have to agree.
Thank you for stepping away from it. I'm also glad you stepped away from Star Wars, by the way. But now we have some new blood in there. With some pizzazz and with some inspiration and with some gravitas. I feel like Star Trek is about to step into a new awakening because J.J. Abrams stepped down. I think that's a key point. J.J. Abrams stepped down to allow Star Trek to step up.
And my only hope is that the people that did see that movie are not going to say, well, the last one wasn't that good, so I'm not going to come and see this one. Because some people have an allegiance to certain things, whether it's Star Wars or Star Trek or whatever it may be. Once you taint that image of what they feel that a movie brand should be, they're pretty much done. So hopefully, like you said, this will be a box office seller.
$1 billion.
$1 billion.
I'm telling you, $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've heard our opening statements. You've also heard the arguments. Now let's get to what you really want to know. What is your verdict? Will you see this movie and why? Judge Sylvia.
I will see this movie. I think that I will get my money's worth going to see this movie. These movies are not cheap, and when you take a family, it costs a lot of money. But I think I'm going to be completely entertained. I think that this movie can entertain older people, younger people, children. It's just that type of perfect summer movie where all ages would be entertained by it. So yes, I will.
Judge MarKeith.
I'm going to take a chance and say yes. Sometimes you go and see a movie and you hope that it's good and it's not. So you're pretty let down when you're walking out of the door and you're telling your friends that you hated the movie. Great. But sometimes you're wrong and the movie surprises you and you love it. So I'm hoping that I go and see it and it blows me out of the water.
Will I see this movie? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. I believe that Star Trek Beyond is going to be the first Star Trek movie that I'm going to walk out of the theater super excited, ecstatic, can't wait to talk about it. I believe this is going to be the first Star Trek movie that will hit $1 billion. I believe this Star Trek will make more fans than any Star Trek TV, movie, anything has ever done before. This movie alone will bring in so many fans. It will actually look like closer to a rival to Star Wars than ever before. That's what I believe this film is going to do, and I cannot wait to see it happen. So, you now know our verdicts. Do you agree? Or maybe you disagree? Either way, let us know what you think. Also, let us know your verdict in the comment feed below. And if you want to contact the show, just contact us with Movie Supreme Court 2016 at gmail.com. And on behalf of all the Movie Supreme Court, we want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to share with us. And until next time, this bench trial court is now adjourned.